there and welcome. Today I am going to do something a little weird. I'm gonna try to perform an ownership review on the Benelli BN302. It's also known as the Benelli TnT300 for India and for the USA. But here in Vietnam they call it the BN302. In China also it's actually labeled as the BJ300GS. Now the 300GS is quite similar to this, it's just a little bulkier basically. But anyways, back to that. I had this bike, well I have this bike, not had, I have this bike now for about 3 years. I've done maybe like 2 major road trips, which of one I only did halfway because on my way back, on my way return to where I live, I kind of had an accident. Be careful. So basically how I got to owning this bike was I used to have a Honda Winner X, which was a 150cc motorcycle. It's a great bike, I cannot deny that, but I wanted something a little more. So I started searching online for bigger motorcycles. And if I were planning to keep 2 motorcycles at the same time, then I would have bought Benelli TRK 502, because then I have one bike to use every day and I have one bike that I can use for road trips, because I mean, who doesn't love road trips, right? So I ended up selling the Winner X, which meant I needed one bike for everyday use, daily use and road trip use. So one bike, 2 purposes. And that's where I stumbled across the 300 range. Now I was looking for the Duke 390, Honda CB 300R. They're great bikes, but first of all, Duke is super expensive, okay? I cannot afford the parts on that. Honda, I don't really enjoy the single piston sound that much, because the Winner X had a single piston sound. It sucked, okay? So I wanted something with a dual piston like this bike. It has a dual piston, inline twin, if I can put it that way. Or if, like people say always, inline twin. So that's when I stumbled across another one, or the Benelli range. So during my research into Benelli, because I'm about to own a Benelli BN302 or Benelli TnT300, I did so many research, and I searched on Google, I searched on YouTube. I tried to find as much information about these bikes so that I can better prepare myself, because a lot of people, this bike is Chinese. It actually is Chinese. It shares the same platform, the same engine, the same frame with the QJ, I'll look it up, the QJ. So a lot of people hate Chinese bikes because they're Chinese. So I did a lot of research into these bikes before I bought one, to make sure that if I buy it, I can fix any future problems that may occur, based on the review of previous owners or on the review of other owners. So during my search, it was so difficult to find someone to give a true ownership experience of owning this bike, because when they when they upload a review, they talk about the bike. They talk about, oh, it's got 300cc engine. It's got dual disc brakes in the front, and it's got a single disc brake at the back. It's got, shit, I forgot the name. Okay, I'll look it up. It's got forks. Okay, come on. They just give a basic review of what the bike is. They don't give a review of their experience. So that is what I'm going to do here today. Okay, I'm going to give you a real experience from my bike, my experience with my bike over the course of 3 years. The first time I bought it used. It's a 2017 Benelli BN302. It had 26,000 kilometers on the clock. Before I change it, I will get to that later. Okay, so 26,000 kilometers on the clock. The owner, I don't really 100% know what the previous owner has done to this bike before I owned it. I just know he dropped it a few times because it's evident on the frame, where the bobbins connect to the frame, they are bent out, so I know he dropped the bike a few times. My brakes were fine, the brakes were good. Even my discs, they don't have pitting in it, pitting, whatever. They're pretty smooth, and the previous owner did install spotlights onto this bike. So based on most of my experience that I have found on YouTube about, there's just one guy who did a ownership review, and he was talking about how his bike always overheated. Now my bike, I've had it in traffic, and my fan always kicks on when it's supposed to kick on. It worked. It hasn't overheated yet, although I am very scared of that, but it hasn't happened yet. So yeah, the previous owner of this bike did install spotlights, so he did, I know for a fact, touch the electrical system in the bike for the headlamp to be connected to the spotlight, so when you use the bright light high beam, when you use the high beam, that the spotlights will go on also. So I know that for a fact. But other than that, I don't know anything else that he has changed. I don't even think he changed the clutch yet, the clutch pack inside the engine. I don't think he has changed it, because right now I'm having problems with that. I mean, it's 5 years already, kind of, right? 2017 to 2024. 5 years, right? Shit, my math is math. Anyway, back to business. So basically my bike is in pretty good shape, okay? I bought it in good shape for about 3,000, wait, let me check. $2,300. $2,300, that's about 60 million Vietnamese currency. So these bikes, based on the price that you pay for it, is the quality that you get most of the time. Because before I bought this one, there was another one that I went to look at, and that thing was terrible. It was falling apart, the parts were loose, the whole bike has been resprayed, like it's got overspray on the forks. So yeah, the price dictates the quality. So anyways, I bought this bike, $2,300, pretty good shape. It just needed an oil change because I didn't know when last the previous owner changed oil, okay? So I changed the oil on this bike, that's it. And then I did my first major road trip. I changed my brake pads, only the brake pads, no brake discs. And the bike is fine. I really enjoy this thing. Although it's very heavy, like it's already 185 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, but I'll look it up and I'll put it there. So it's quite on the heavy side, but I mean, I'm not complaining. It's got like 35 horsepower, give or take. Maybe mine has lost a few. Yeah. Anyway, so the only problems that I have experienced so far with this bike is the neck bearing, because one of my mechanic guys, he told me that on the bottom of my neck, on the bottom, grease. Oh, that's not gonna be it. Not a good idea. Shit. Okay, anyway, so he said on the bottom of my neck, where my triple T goes in, I'm not sure what you call that thing. So where that thing goes in, it's got a crack. So I've never opened it up myself to see where the crack is. If it's on the bearing housing or if it's on the frame itself. So that's the only problem that I've had with this bike from the time that I changed the neck bearing for the first time. That's when the problem started. I used another mechanic before that, and they sucked so bad. They didn't tie down my neck bearing well enough, so when I drive I can move my handlebar forward and back the whole time, so that was bullshit. Anyway, that was the only problem for that. Okay, brakes were fine. This bike does not have ABS, so unfortunately. The same model as this one, same style, same wing, same everything. 2018 model, which I have found to be informative, that the 2018 model has ABS. That was the first time I think Benelli brought out ABS on this model. Until 2019, when they changed over to the new style, which I don't really like, because the headlight, it's not that bad, but yeah. With the new style 2019 and up to now, they have ABS, and the perks of those ABS is you can turn them on or off, which is great. I could have used it because I got into an accident with this bike, relatively severe one, if you want to put it that way. I did 110 to 120 kilometers per hour, and in a turn, a child ran across the fucking road, and the guy that I was following, we don't know each other, so wherever you are, whatever. I'm not mad at you. Okay, anyways. So he got a little scared and he moved a little bit not too much. I was far away from him. Now, of course, I was trying to be careful, but I also didn't feel safe with that guy. So again, this is where it comes in, ride your own ride. I didn't do that. I tried to follow a random guy that I didn't even know. Anyway, so he moved a little bit too much. He got a little scared. He continued driving. And when he got a little scared, when he flinched, I flinched and I yeeted the front brake and I went down. This bike used to have crash bobbins on here, but the moment the bike hit the ground, the crash bobbin ripped off completely. Didn't protect the bike. So my bike slid straight into a bridge. It connected a bridge. It damaged the front, damaged the headlight, ripped off the clock, bent my handlebar on the other side, broke my mirror, broke my clutch lever, and bent my left fork. Now, at this moment, I have never changed the triple T, if you call it that, at the bottom, which means that my bike can turn further left than it can turn right because of the little block on the triple T, whatever you call it, is broken off. So now that means that the bike can turn further left. I never changed that. After the accident, I did change some parts. I changed the mudguard. I changed both forks at the same time because I'm not going to change one and then leave the other one. No. Okay, make them new. Why not? I changed the headlight. Now, this headlight comes from China. Okay, this bike is Chinese, which means that everything on this bike comes from China, which is great. I don't have to struggle, but anyway. The only problem that I have with this headlight is the fact that they forgot to put glue. They forgot to put glue on the seam. Okay, it's jiggling around. It's annoying. I actually have glue which I need to do myself. So now that I have a problem with my ignition, I will open this up, then I can do the headlight. So it works out in the end. I open it up, I do the light, I do the ignition, done. Yes, ignition problem. I have one now because I installed the new spotlights on this bike. So not me, but another service, another mechanic, another mechanic installed the spotlights because I'm not good with electronics. So, yeah. They installed the spotlights, so now the ignition is having some problem. I just think it's maybe a loose connection or something. Not a problem though, I can find it easily and I can fix it myself, it's fine. I replaced the clock, I replaced the front shield. I don't even know what it's for, but I replaced it. This clock on the original Benellis, on the original version of this one, the clock does not have a gear indicator. Now, when I ordered the new clock for this bike, I ordered one, and just so by chance, it has a gear indicator on it, which is awesome. Now I don't need to put a universal gear indicator onto the bike. So my other mechanic, I call him my Benelli mechanic because I don't have, where I live in the city that I live in, I have a Benelli dealership, but their service sucks. Their customer service is so bad. Their showroom doesn't even have an AC. The last time I took this bike to the mechanic, I said, hey, I know my bike has a problem. You just need to put in your computer and find the problem for me. He says, no, your bike doesn't have a problem, what? Bro, I know my bike, okay? It has a problem. Find it for me. No, we cannot find a problem for you, blah, blah, blah. So, I think the problem actually that might be the ignition coil, the spark coil. That might be the problem on this bike. According to his ECU reader, said that there's a problem with the coil. So I'm gonna have to change that out soon, or maybe not. But anyway, where was I? Shit. Okay. Yeah, gear indicator. So I spent about $1,500 in parts only to replace this bike, to fix this bike. So about $1,500 to fix this bike. Yes, I know it's pretty much the cost of this bike used. Okay, and not to mention that the value lost in the bike due to the accident history may be around, I'm not sure, but accident history on this bike might devalue it up to maybe $1,000. So it's got a $1,000 devalue due to the accident history. In Vietnam, they're very picky about their bikes. They don't give a shit about the engine. They just care about what the bike looks outside. And unfortunately, the only thing that can give me away of a major accident is my triple T, whatever you call it. Because I didn't change that one, so it's still got the broken block, the little broken stop. So they will be able to identify that it has been an accident. But yeah. So I spent about $1,500 into replacing parts on this bike because I was never planning on selling it. Because like, okay, the moment I put money into it, I knew it's a money pit, which means that I'm going to be spending on it and I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. I have got some accessories on the bike, like this stunt frame. Reason I chose a stunt frame was because I learned my experience from the crash bobbin that it didn't work. Now maybe it was just my bad luck that the crash bobbin didn't work, or maybe that they just don't work. So I opted for a crash frame, a stunt frame. Basically two reasons. One, to protect the bike. My friend already dropped it before and it protected. And kind of for parking purposes, like if I park my bike outside a shop and someone comes next to me and parks their bike next to my bike, that they are not less likely to scratch my bike or get close to my bike because of the frame. Now, of course, this frame is smaller than the one on blue. I will do a review on blue later, but not now. So this frame is a little narrower than blue. Blue is so freaking wide. But yeah, accessories. I changed this wing. I changed this wing because the original one says BN on the side. So during my research on the on Taobao, the Chinese shopping app, I found BJ300GS. So I searched BJ300GS because they share the same platform, the same frame, same engine, everything. So I found this wing where that says B302 Benelli, and then at the bottom it says BJ300GS. It's a way to make my bike different from the Vietnamese bikes, if I can put it that way, because the Vietnamese bikes are B302, or they change it to a Ducati Monster. Yeah, they change it to a Ducati Monster, okay? They make this thing look like a Ducati Monster with a round headlight. I think they keep the stock handlebars, maybe. But they really do try to make these bikes look like Ducati Monster 695s, 695s I think, 696. I'll have to Google it later. Okay, but anyways. So I'm trying to keep my bike as stock as possible without changing too much. Only add on, not change what it is to what it is not. Ducati Monster. Okay, or there's actually some that change them into Ducati Panigale V4 with the shape outside. What the anyways, I think they're trying to get the chicks. Yeah. Alright, anyway, I'm trying to keep my bike as stock as possible, but also trying to make it different from Vietnam, so that my bike is kind of unique. Now also I want to get BJ300GS sticker here at the back, but I need to first find someone that can, or not someone that can. I first need to find the online app, the shop. Okay, I need to ask the shop if they can give me the stickers instead of the full BJ300GS tailpiece. I don't want that because of course it's different from my bike, kind of. So I want them to just give me the sticker so I can make my bike BJ300GS. The other accessories that I have added onto this bike are my mirrors. Now unfortunately this mirror I broke because when I tried to test a new camera position, I mounted on the mirror and then I tied it, and when it tied down it pressed my mirror on the inside and it broke the glass. Yeah. I did add spotlights to this bike because I'm planning to use it for road trips mainly. Not mainly, but I'm planning to use it for road trips, and because I don't like to stay at home or in the city. I want to get fresh air. I want to get free. I want to be free, okay? It sucks to be stuck at home. So I got two spotlights. Shilling, something like that. Spotlights. They've got actually three. They have yellow, white, yellow and white. Then they have modes where you can single flash, like it both flash at the same time, or you have double flash where they will pulsate, if I can put it that way, on both the white, yellow and white and yellow. It can do that on all three. So I added those to be outside the city, on night trips, if I ever get night tripping. The brake pads I have changed. I have also changed my brake lines because the previous brake lines were old and degraded. So I got new brake lines, but unfortunately the fitment on these brake lines suck. The left brake line has got like a lot of movement. The right one is a little too tight. I feel uncomfortable with it. I heard someone previously say that it's okay, it's good. I don't know. Okay. The back brake line I did change, and of course I changed my exhaust as well. I've got, maybe it's a original aquapovic, fake aquapovic, I don't know, but it says aquapovic on the side, so aquapovic. I changed that. That's why not. The sound is great because the longer the pipe, the better the sound. That's in my experience, because the sound can resonate inside the box better and it has a deeper sound. Whereas if you put the short exhaust on, like the Aquapovic R1 exhaust, it's obnoxious, okay? It gives you a headache. Even a fart can. No. I'm never going to use a fart can because they're short, they're round, and they just like... I'm not planning to get there. I'm not planning to go deaf yet, okay? So, longer exhaust, better sound. I did change my brake levers to Brembo fake brake levers from China. Brembo fake. Brake lever and clutch lever. But before I ordered these Brembo sets, I ordered some hydraulic clutch for my previous bike that I had, the white bike. The white bike. I wanted to try and use the hydraulic clutch on that bike and feel how, or test it, how does the hydraulic clutch work. And I got the Brembo sets before I got my hydraulic clutch kit, because unfortunately it got lost in the mail. The hell. So I put the Brembos first, only to get the hydraulic clutch set, because it also has the same set for the brakes. I got that later, and then I switched the hydraulic clutch because my clutch cable has a problem, and that comes because of the stunt frame here at the bottom. It's a little too low on the one end, which means that it's interfering with my cable that's running like this. So instead of my cable running like this, the stunt frame is pushing my cable down, which means my cable is kind of working at an angle which is not very good. And I already previously snapped my replacement cable that I snapped my replacement cable. I only had it for maybe 1 year and I snapped it already. So that's when I decided to switch over to the hydraulic. Now the hydraulic clutch is a little very lengthy, if I can put it that way. So I made it come out through the side here because I cannot get it inside. The hydraulic piston is over here. It's kind of interfering with my radiator overflow reservoir. Okay, so it's interfering with that. So I kind of also want to change this one to another type of bottle, which kind of looks it looks good. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm going to change it and put it on the side here, inside behind my spotlight. So, yeah. This is my hydraulic clutch line. Hydraulic clutch, spotlight, stunt frame, clock for the gear indicator, mirrors, fake Brembos, and a hydraulic clutch. Okay, hydraulic clutch. And the little I don't even know what you call it. What do you call this thing? Leave it in the comments if you are looking at this video and if you know what it's called. What's that called? Please. I don't know. And the exhaust. That's pretty much all that I have changed on this bike. It's pretty stock standard since 2017 that it came out. I'm not sure that the previous owner ever changed the clutch and the inside of the engine. So I have to now change the clutch on the inside because it's starting to have a little problem with changing gears and it's not working well. I did change the tires to what is that? What are you? Michelin? Yeah. Michelin. Okay, Michelin Pilot Street tires. So I've got Michelin Pilot Street tires on here. I have not chicken stripped them yet, okay? Because actually after my accident I did lose a little confidence in my turning abilities, especially with this bike. No ABS, scared the shit out of me. But yeah, I haven't chicken stripped it yet, okay? Sue me, boo. I do want to take it to a racetrack. I do want to take it to a track and practice my skills. Especially with this bike as well. And my blue one, the R3. So that will be on another day. This bike is stock standard. It is what it is. I really enjoy it. It's a great daily bike, you can use it. And all the problems that come on this bike or that are occurring on this bike are because of the owners. Yeah, I'm pointing at me too because I did some things too, so it caused some problems, okay? I know a lot of people are scared to touch Chinese bikes. These things are fine. It depends on what you do to it. If you touch something, you might cause a problem. No matter what bike it is, Chinese, Japanese, Suzuki, right? I think that's Korean. Oh shit, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a bike guy, I'm actually a fucking car guy. Unfortunately, I cannot own a freaking car. Anyway, so it depends on what you do to it. Any bike is the same. You change something, you stand a chance of messing it up. Okay? Don't blame the manufacturer. This thing is from China, which means that you can easily get the parts yourself from China through your local Chinese importer, kinda. Right now I have my local Chinese importer, which I always use, and I think they probably hate me because I send them so many messages. But Chinese, dude, you can import this from parts from China. Easy. And if something breaks, it's because you broke it. This bike I have 3 years. I've redlined the shit out of it before when trying to race someone. The top speed that I got on this bike so far was 100 and... Okay, the fastest I've gone so far is 150. Only one time and then I went back down again. So mostly 145. Depends on the sprockets that you have, because I changed mine for better torque, especially on road trips. So I've got a 1546 sprocket set. So maybe I'm planning to go back to 1544. So I can get back what it's supposed to have. But what you change is what you will make fail. Me and the spotlights, okay? Right now my ignition is having problems. I already uploaded short videos about that. When I'm trying to start the bike, it doesn't want to switch on. Exactly, my fault. Not the brand's fault. It's your own fault. You change something, you break it. So it can happen with any other bike, any other brand. It's about what you do to it, not the bike. So in all, I really love this bike. It's a great bike. It's reliable if you don't change something. It's reliable, great for road trips and great for daily use too. Now, I'm not one for faking or lying about results of a bike, or trying to talk nice about the brand. I am a true person. I believe in truth. So if you kind of enjoyed the review, I don't know if it was helpful. I'm just doing this for fun, and also it's for fun. If someone ever wants to buy a Benelli, I hope it, yeah. These bikes are reliable. They do have some problems. Okay, first of all, also the suspension. The rear shock absorber of mine sprung a leak back in last year. It sprung a leak last year where it leaked out all the oil. So I think it's since 2017 to 4 years. 4 years and my rear shock sprung a leak. I replaced it with a new one, red one. I used to have a black one, I think. So It happens with all bikes, okay? If you change something, you are going to damage it. My bike, very limited changed. So very limited problems. So if you want to buy a Benelli, I wouldn't say no, because it is a cheap bike, yes, and it is reliable, yes, pretty much, if you don't change it. Yeah, don't be scared of Chinese bikes always. This is a great example. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh, they're so perfect, they don't have any problems. No, they have problems if you cause them. So I hope that this video is helpful, kinda. It's just my own experience with this bike. Some people may have different experiences with these bikes because they change something. I have one friend who has a lot of friends in China right now who are complaining about their Benellis having problems, and I keep telling him that it's based on what they did to their bikes. If they change something to their bikes, they're gonna have problems with it. Because my bike, I'm not having any problems. No overheating, my fan switches on when it has to switch on. I have coolant in my bike. My bike starts up when it's supposed to. If I didn't change the cables on the inside, so again, that's my fault, not the bike's fault. So these bikes are fine. I don't know what they are complaining about, but you change something, you fuck it up. That's just it. I love this bike, and I would actually be very sad to let it go. Right now I have a problem with a company that I worked for. They let me go because I found out a few secrets of them. So they let me go, and now I have to spend 3 months without work, trying to find a new work, and possibly I have to sell this bike. I'm gonna try and sell it to my friends, because my friends already know me, they know my bike, they know, and of course I share with them all the experiences of what is going on. So I hope I won't have to sell this bike, but maybe I will have to. So I will miss it. It's a fun bike. Really love it. Yeah. So I hope you found this video helpful, and enjoy it if you ever buy one. So have fun, stay safe, and ride your own ride. Don't follow people.